Matt Menster. Matt, can you hear me?
I can, John. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Where are you broadcasting from today?
I am in sunny South Florida, Punta Gorda, Florida.
Good old South Florida. Okay. Um, Go ahead and get your PowerPoint up. Matt is a
Okay.
seasoned trader who focuses on building innovative tools that give other traders an edge in the market. He is the creator of Trade the Grade, a platform that uses AI to suggest good trade catalysts, and the ODTE terminal, which uses AI and backtesting suggests specific options trade ideas. Please welcome Matt Mester. Okay, let's see. Okay, I see the ODTE command center.
Yes,
So
sir.
it looks like you're up and running on the PowerPoint. So you have until 5 minutes before the hour when we hand out our next batch of prizes. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself.
Outstanding. Okay. And I'll leave my camera off just to conserve everyone's internet bandwidth. Uh, Not that nobody wants to see my mug, but anyways, guys, privileged to be here. I met John at a marketing summit about 6 months ago. And actually was familiar with him a long time before that, way back in the day, probably about close to 15 years ago. But anyways, I want to go ahead and share a couple things with you guys that I'm pretty excited about. Since I have an entire hour for some reason, I was thinking I only had 30 minutes. But since I have a full hour of your time, of course, nobody's going to wander away from their screens, right? We're all going to stay put with our eyes fixated and on the edge of your seats, right? So, guys, I say that, of course, tongue in cheek, a little bit of late, early afternoon, late afternoon, depending on where you're at, humor for you. Everybody's got probably a little bit of coffee, maybe an energy drink if you prefer those, because it's that time of day here on the East Coast where we're ready for the day to be over, if we're being honest, guys, right? So, I need to get you guys amped up and excited. Coffee or energy drink will probably help, but hopefully my trading platform here will also excite you, and I think it will, to be honest with you, judging on the feedback I've received thus far. So, again, my name is Matt Menster. I live in Florida. My wife and I have 4 kids. Anyways, been trading, involved in the markets very heavily now for almost 20 years. And I have a passion for developing edges that I can then offer to other traders, and we can all trade them alike and be one big happy group of traders. So the zero DTE terminal is what I want to talk about. And since I have a full hour, I might do a little demo on Trade the Grade. And it is raining here. So if I get lightning, I might lose my internet for 30 seconds, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens. All right, so let's just go through these slides really quick, guys. I'm not really big on, doing slides. I like to kind of move around a little bit. I like to be a moving target. So, anyways, we'll get through these slides quickly, and then I'll demo the zero DTE terminal because everybody knows if you trade zero DTEs. For some reason, I can't see the chat anymore. I don't know what happened to it, but anyways, if you guys trade, oh, there it goes. Okay, I got it. If you guys trade zero DTE, let me know. Put it in the chat. Just put a let's see. Put a zero in the chat if you trade zero DTE or if you're curious about how that all works. Okay, Patricia, who else? Okay, David's curious about zero DTE. I mean, it's fast money that can be made or lost, of course, but it is fast money. All right, Don too. Okay, so I know there's and James too. Okay, so I know there's many more of you that are involved or at least thinking about it because there has been big news lately that the pattern day trader rule, I think it's tomorrow, as a matter of fact, it's officially lifted. So that's just like totally good timing for me to have a platform like this. that really helps traders zero in on trading zero DTE. Now, the setups are there, guys. Every day you might look at a chart like, man, what if I would have just picked up some SPY calls right before that big green candlestick right there? I would have printed money, or vice versa on the puts, right? So, of course, hindsight is 2020, but still, even in the present, when you don't know exactly what's going to happen, if you have some sort of notion, some sort of data that tells you the intraday might be at a turning point where at least there's a good enough setup for a scalp, then you obviously it would benefit you to know that information at the right time, right? So one of the things with trading zero DTE is people just kind of overanalyze the charts. They've got, 27 different indicators on their charts. They're trying to consider Elliott wave strategies. They're trying to factor in the CPI data and Trump's latest tweet and whether or not Iran's gonna surrender, all that jazz. Forget about that, guys. All you really need is an edge that's based on recent back-tested data, and I'm going to show you exactly how I can deliver that for you via the zero DTE platform. Okay, so forget about missed entries, overpaid premium, and forgetting to exit. How many times you made a trade and you forgot about it, only to come back and realize that you missed your chance to exit profitably? So the story plays out every single week. And we actually had one of our traders that signed up for the zero DTE terminal, did 100 to, I'm sorry, this is what, excuse me, guys. He did a challenge as trading zero DTE on his own, and he took it from 10 to 68K before losing it all. So that's what we want to avoid. We want to avoid the blowups, right? We want to avoid you guys taking two steps forward and then three steps back. Two steps forward, one step back is okay. That's normal. But if you make a bunch of progress and then you blow it all out on one day or one week, what good is it? Then trading is not really a viable thing long term, is it, right? So we want to help avoid these sort of account blowups that we hear about all the time, especially if you read Reddit, which I don't recommend. Reddit is a cesspool. But we build the guardrails that we wish we'd had in the past. A daily loss circuit breaker. So if you have, a $5,000 account, you probably don't want to lose more than $600 in a day. So you want to be able to set up a circuit breaker where it disables your ability to trade for the rest of the day. Well, guess what? We have that. We have a position size calculator that tells you exactly how much you might want to think about taking in a trade. Of course, it's your money. You can do whatever you want, but it helps you sort of get an idea as to what might be a good idea as far as a trade size for the amount of money you're dealing with. Also, a trading journal and an equity curve. So all your trades are automatically entered into a journal that you guys can track, and you can see an equity curve. So everything is right here in the zero DTE terminal, which I'm going to show you here in just a moment. Okay, Sebastian said Scott talked about, yeah, the pattern day trade rule, I think, is coming up tomorrow. So, man, perfect timing for this webinar, guys, for real. All right, so the cost of slow tools also. So, latency, you know, some of the tools out there, they look like they were built in the late 90s, honestly. I see them out there, and I see people still trying to market them, and I guess people still sign up for them, I guess. But honestly, the platforms, like for example, there's one product out there that people pay a lot of money for, and they don't get their data until the end of the day. Like, what is that? You're gonna pay thousands of dollars for a chart platform that only updates the data every day at 6 o'clock. Are you serious? Uh, that's an extreme example, but anyways, the cost of slow tools, okay, is big. So we want to be fast, right? Now, what if everything was on one screen? All the things I just mentioned. Well, guess what? It is on the zero DTE terminal, guys. So you've got one click, five AI engines. I'll explain what that means here in a second, and zero guesswork. So you've got five strategies. Now, the five strategies I'm going to share with you, you've probably heard of most of them, especially if you're one of those people that surfs around on YouTube looking for the latest, greatest strategy. But even if not, you probably have heard of most of them. and then we filter it to your bias. So it's not an auto trader, but it does suggest strategies and setups based on backtesting data, and then also will tell you if they're in line with your bias for the day. I come into jobs report Friday. The jobs report is smashing through records. Inflation's, well, unfortunately, it's not going down, but if it was going down at the same time, I'd probably be bullish. So I'd want to get bullish setups for the day, and it'll adjust to that bias for you. Okay, so here's the five back tested strategies all in one dashboard in the terminal. All right, so you've got the opening range breakout. Anybody heard of that? Probably, especially the last year or so got really popular. You got the gap trader. Everybody loves trading gaps. If you go on any forum for the last 20 years, you'll probably see a big thread on there about how gaps always fill. Well, they don't always fill, but they do make for a very lucrative trading strategy in many cases. Expected moves. So that's where you measure the move over the last 14 or 30 days. How much has SPY moved point wise during the day or SPX? And then basically you can build a strategy based on that. Also, supply and demand. Some people say, well, isn't that like support and resistance? I say, yeah, basically. And then you've got trend day momentum, which is if it's going to be a trend day, which we've had kind of like a melt up lately and not really like super powerful, huge green candlesticks like we had initially when the ceasefire was announced. But sometimes we do get trend days. And then if you guys remember about a year and change ago, we had some trend days down where the market would gap down and keep going down all day. So those do pop up, although it's not the norm. But we do have a strategy in place for that when the market starts to trend. So everything again on one screen, your live chart, your status bar, your paper trading or live trading P&L, as we do have live trading now incorporated into it, which I'll talk about, and then a setup watch list. Okay. So, and as if that wasn't enough, you can actually practice. So let's say it's let's say it's Sunday night at 11:30 at night. Everybody's falling asleep, but you ate something that didn't sit well with you, so you're staying up. You can actually go into the terminal and practice on the replay engine. So I kind of stole that idea from TradingView. But you can go and practice any day, regardless of in the last 30 days. In 30 days of trading, you can practice it any time that you wish. Okay. All right, so here's how it works. We're going to go through this. So some of this is kind of redundant. The built-in protection, we already kind of talked about that. And so here's what'll give you an idea. So if you reach your daily loss limit, and I kind of learned this from futures trading too, that what futures trading does, especially when using prop accounts, it helps you learn your risk reward, like how much you can risk on any given day, so you don't blow your account and have to reset your account and all that. Well, I don't want to talk too much about futures, but it did sort of give me an idea for the daily loss circuit breaker. So you can see there's a screenshot. Okay, your daily loss, you lost that have a small account, you lost 170 bucks, that's 28% of your account. You might want to just kind of chill till tomorrow, right? So anyways, and then also if you place a trade like a $320 trade and you've only got $765 in there, it's going to give you a warning that says, well, guess what there, sir or ma'am, you are placing a trade that risks 41% of your account. All right, so you have to click I accept the risk to continue to place that trade, right? And yes, you can place the trade right through the terminal. I'll tell you about that here in a sec. All right. So I just want to go ahead and get this out there. I don't want to save this all the way till the end and have you wondering how much it costs. So for 1 year of the zero DTE terminal, that includes everything I just mentioned, and that I'm about to demonstrate for you, is $9.97. After we hit 100 members, it's going up to $14.97, which I think is very reasonable for all that we provide. But it gets better than that, guys, because you can actually get a 14-day free trial. So someone might paste a link over there at some point during this presentation. And if not, I'll do it. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and pop that over here whenever we can. But first, I don't want you guys to deviate too much. So let me go over here And let's go over here to analytics. Okay. All right. So just to give you an idea, guys, it's loading up. Okay, so it didn't work. Wow. Okay, hold on a second. Let's refresh this. Anyways, I want to show you some stats and it didn't work. All right. So anyways, guys, so if you sign up for a trial and you log in, when the market's open, it's going to have this screen right here. Okay. And then you're going to click enter live trading, obviously. But before you do that, what you can do is you can go to the strategy hub and you can you can find some setups that you can use during live trading. All right. So if you go right here, um, and you can set up basically if you want it to back test for a month or with or without a 50% stop loss, okay, on the zero DTEs. All right, so what you can do is then hit scan now, and the AI is going to go and basically find setups that have positive expected value based on the gap trader strategy, right? And then what you can do is you can save them to your save setups log, right? And then you can see here I have um, these are all my saved setups for the gap trader strategy. Okay. So some of them are getting a little old, so those will be deleted. But you can see here the stats. So like for example, this one right here, guys, you can see the win rate is 75%, risk reward is 1.8 to 1, and the expected value is 55 percent. The sample size is not that big though, so you do have to take that into account. 4 out of 14 days, this setup appeared and was profitable 3 out of 4 times. So you have context for each setup that is saved. So sort of like the parent, the top of the food chain is the strategy, and then underneath the strategy, like the babies of the strategy, is the setups that are saved that have positive expected value, or in layman's terms, a profitable backtest. All right. So, and then you can do that for all these different strategies. Like let's do opening range breakout, pretty popular, buzzworthy strategy. So we'll go back a month and we'll leave the 50% stop. For some reason, the 50% stop loss seems to produce better results. I know some people just like to, be wild and not have a stop, but for my testing, 50% stop is best to have that in there, guys. So here we've got some results here. Let's find one. Okay, so and for the orb strategy too, this one looks pretty decent here. Okay, so break. How often did price break out of the opening range? So all these stats have tooltips where you can hover over and it'll give you an explanation of what they mean. All right, so nothing here is beyond being explained just by using your mouse and reading what pops up after you hover over it. Okay. So, anyways, guys, my point is you can go into any one of these strategies, generate setups that will then be saved to your My Setups tab right here. Okay. For each and every strategy. Now you can see some of these setups that I have saved for the orb strategy here. So this one right here, win percentage 100%. This one's really good. And so if you scroll down there, there's some. Now, the thing is cool about the orb strategy too, while I'm kind of nerding out on this, guys, is that it doesn't always take a breakout. So if you have an opening range breakout in the morning, but opening range orbs have been failing lately, what it'll like this one right here. This one is a down break, so that it's a breakout beneath the opening range. So all the people on YouTube will tell you, oh, you need to buy puts. Go buy puts, dude. It's gonna crash. Well, that's not always the case, right? Because sometimes the orb violations fail and the market rebounds back in the other direction. So some of these setups will do a recent back test and tell you, hey, it's actually good to fade or go opposite of the opening range breakout. And so that's what really stands out to me as being something that adds a lot of value, um, as opposed to just looking at a chart and saying, hey, there's an opening range breakout, I'm going to take it. Because what if you haven't really back tested over the last 2 to 4 weeks to find out whether or not that's a good trade setup or not, right? So, anyways, and then you would come over here after you save the setups, and you can see I've got a lot of saved setups, as you might imagine, 470 of them, and there's some that are triggering right now as we're live here. And this is not just for the SPY though, so this is for the SPX as well. I have less setups saved for SPX because I prefer to trade the SPY. Most of my customers do as well. But I do have some that trade SPX, and that's the only thing they trade. So, whatever it is that you guys prefer, some people, like apples, some people like bananas, I don't know. Uh, it's up to you guys. But you can trade either one. Right now, we don't have anything other than these two instruments. We could expand out in the future based on demand from our customers. So, guys, that is a pretty much a quick walkthrough of how to get the setup saved. Now, you might say, well, Matt, that sounds really neat, but I actually don't really want to do any of that. Well, that's why we introduced AI power mode. So you can actually go into a live trading environment or replay, like I'm about to do right now. You go in to live trading mode, you tell it your bias. Let's say, hey, you know what? I think today, even though we gap down, something's going to happen. There's going to be some news that makes the market go up. Okay. So we'll say bullish in a range day. So we're not going to break out of the expected move. I don't want to do more than 3 trades. And then I will click start trading. Now you don't have to, you can just skip that if you want. But I'm going to click start trading. And then you can see here my results for the day so far. Took a trade here. Let's see. If you scroll over, you can see on the chart. Anyways, but you can see the results right here of your trade. If you log it, if you take a trade in the morning and you come back later, you can see the results. So you can see my results for the day right here. And these were the setups that were taken. There was 5 trades. I think 3 were winners and 2 were losers. But if you kind of see right here, this was an expected move trade, supply demand, and then 3 trades on the orb. Okay. But all in all, a good day for me. And I was going to show you something else here. Over here on the side, you can see the total profit or loss per trade. Okay. Now, some people told me, well, Matt, I don't like that chart. I've got my own chart set up. I've got, Ninja Trader or what are some of the charts out there? TC 2000, Sierra charts. There's so many different charting platforms out there. I'm obviously not trying to compete with them um, because that would be crazy. But if you say, hey, Matt, I just want the setups and my data in here, I want to get rid of the chart. Well, just hide the chart then. And it'll actually make the screen load a little faster too. But I wanted to have it in there just in case you guys want to use the chart. And then basically what you do is when you come in here, guys, you'll have a triggered setup. So this one right here is triggered right now. Basically, it is a expected move setup, right? And here's the stats right here, win rate 100%, risk reward 0.9 to 1. And it's triggered 3 out of the last 14 days. Okay, so that's the sample size. If I wanted to place that trade, what I'll do is click execute now. And it's a paper trade, so that means I need to be aware that it's not being sent to my brokerage. And then here is based on the back test that the AI found is the optimal settings for the exit. Okay. So I've got it taken 2 contracts. If I want to do more than 2, I can just slide this over. If I want to change the profit amount, so let's say I look at this and I say, well, that's nice, but it's already 321. I kind of doubt it's going to, move 100% or whatever it was. Then you simply slide it back to where you think it has a good odds of being a good trade for you, right? Also, if you want to add a stop loss, most of these have a stop loss that's already pre-built in based on the back test. But if you want to add a stop loss, boom, you just add the stop loss right there. Okay. So um, I don't really know of anything else that wasn't built into this that isn't in here yet, other than not being able to trade more tickers. But but I've got a pretty overwhelming response of people that sign up and start to use it. So, anyways, that's how that works. And then if I want to submit the trade, this is paper, so I don't really care if it loses. So I place the trade. So then you can kind of see it's unrealized. Now it'll start to track the unrealized gain or loss as the position is open. You see it just went green. And then if let's say you want to close the trade before the before it either hits the stop or the target, or obviously before it hits 4 o'clock, because then the market will be closed. Then you can just go over here and hit this X to close the trade, or as some people say, flatten the trade. And so that's really how simple it is, guys. And obviously, it's not auto trading. There is some discretion involved. Auto trading, I didn't want to get into that can of worms. So there is, obviously, it's still up to the user what trades are taken, when the exit is executed, at what parameters, so on and so forth. You, as the user, have to approve every trade. But with that said, you have a lot of information at your fingertips that streamlines everything. We also have a market intel section up here. So if you look up here, there was a massive 10 a.m. data cluster showing a cooling labor market, ISM employment misses, contrasted by resilient ISM new orders. So, it kind of gives you some context, but the only thing it doesn't factor into was the um, the shooting over there in the Middle East, but it will tell you everything that is in context of economic data and stuff like that. All right. So, and I think the Middle East stuff is why we're down today. If you had that, if you ask me. Anyways, so guys, that is a real quick demo of how you would use it. And all these trades as well are all booked in your journal. Okay, so let's say I want to close this trade out right now for a whopping $17 profit. Okay, so that adds to my total for the day. I made $305. Okay, so I want to go to the journal, so I'll click journal it. All right. So here we go. It's only June 3rd, so this month is obviously very fresh. But there you can see. So now another thing you can do is you can go back and look at previous months. Okay. So last month, I was doing a lot of work and, building things. So the time I did trade, I actually didn't make any money. But you can see I had a really good month in April, did 8.5. And then March did a little bit too. So anyways, and this is a newer, it's not brand new. I do have about 100 users, including active trial users. But I still have plenty of openings for the 997 deal if you guys decide to upgrade during or at the end of your 14-day trial. Okay. So, anyways, the analytics here is cool. So you guys can see my equity curve here. Um, I kind of had a good run there, and I'm just kind of treading water now. But you can see, essentially everything that's going on: your win rate, your profit factor, your win streak, your max your average win, your average loss, all that stuff that you want to know is all in here. I mean, everything is here. So it does. Now, one thing this tool will do that some people, I think, this is just my opinion, are not willing to do is be honest with yourself. Because if you are not making money, you're going to have to look at those numbers. And some people just like to live in a delusional world. So this is a tool that does force you to deal with actually getting profitable or not. All right. So that's my goal. I mean, I just don't want to make a gimmicky tool. I want to help people actually get profitable with trading zero DTE options. Okay. So, for better or worse, some people don't like that. So, but anyways, yeah. So now let's see here. So this is back to the slides. Do I have any questions about the zero DTE terminal? Will it send it to Schwab? Oh, okay. Yeah. So next, I do need to cover that, don't I? So let's go back to the dashboard. Okay. So if I want to trade live, ladies and gentlemen, what I can do is I just toggle this right here to live. But first, I would need to connect a broker. So, assuming I didn't, um, I have two accounts connected. Now, the only broker that works right now is one called Tradier. So, Tradier is the only brokerage that is compatible with this. So, you would need to open an account with Tradier. It's not like it's a big chore nowadays to open a new brokerage account and wire in, a few grand to get started. But that is something that's the only compatibility we have right now. So, obviously with development costs and the time involved, we don't have time to build out integrations to every broker under the sun. And it just so happens that Tradier is really cool to work with for guys like me. Working with Schwab, I realize that's the biggest one out there with Thinkorswim, but they're not very friendly. So, anyways, it is Tradier for now for the foreseeable future. So all you would do is you would click on you would basically connect. You'll be prompted to do so when you sign up. If you upgrade to premium, you can trade live. Now, that is something I need to clarify. The only way to trade lives is if you upgrade to premium. So I have to give an incentive. At the end of the day, this is a business. So if you want to trade live with a real account, with a real trader account, you do have to upgrade to premium, guys. Okay. But the idea is you'll love it so much with paper trading that you'll want to upgrade to premium and trade live with traders. So the way you do that is with the it's called OAuth or zero auth, but you just log in here and connect your account, and then it takes you right back to the page we were just at. And then your account is live, and then you just toggle on you just go over here and toggle it on to live right here, this button, um, like that. So, and it's asking me to reconnect, but you guys get the point. It's point and click easy. And then you're logged in. Everything is secure. That's all, I have a business relationship with Tradier, so they understand what I'm doing. They're okay with it. And everything is secure. As you can see, this is the actual Tradier.com domain that you're connecting to. So now, one thing, a couple housekeeping things is you do want to make sure if you place a live trade, I recommend having a separate tab open to make sure everything looks right. You want to make sure that the trades actually did go through in your brokerage account, and that'll be your responsibility, obviously, to verify all that. Okay. And I'll make you sign a bunch of disclaimers anyways to verify that you understand that. But yeah, so that's how that works. I do have some stuff to share with you guys. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, here's the trade here notice. So June 4th is tomorrow. That's when the PDT rule ends. So you don't have to always use a cash account to trade if you have less than 25K anymore. So here's an example of like a 5-day run. So this is all of our users combined. This is a screen I was going to show you earlier that didn't want to pop up for whatever reason. Great timing. So anyways, this is early May, about not even 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. But you can see here, out of the many traders that were trading live, we had one big red day between everybody. But other than that, we were pretty green. And so, some weeks are really, really green. It's really amazing to see what people are able to do with this tool. And here's another one from earlier in May. So you've got, Monday 2000, Tuesday 1600, Wednesday 4500, Thursday 3900, Friday 1800 in profits cumulatively. Now that doesn't mean there might have been some traders that lost money during that day, but as a whole, all the users on the platform between live and paper trading, that is the results they achieved. So that's pretty fun to see that. And here is the Discord. It's not very active, to be honest with you, but I don't know. It is what it is. Some people don't like using Discord. So, but it's here if you want it. Feel free to hop in the Discord. Okay. So what other questions do you guys have about the terminal? And I'll go ahead and put the link in here. I don't I don't think it's necessary to wait until the end of the presentation. So I'll just pop it in here. That's okay. I think that's the right link there. Zero DTE terminal. Boom. All right, there it is, guys. So everybody grab a trial. Why not? It literally doesn't cost you anything. So I'm helping you out with inflation going back up, guys. Guess what? My 14 days on the zero DTE terminal is free 99. All right, doesn't cost you a thing. I'll pick up the data bill. Don't worry about it. All right. So yeah, so there it is, zero DTE terminal, and then the / free dash trial. All right, so it does find the trades for you. I'll demonstrate again. Okay, so if you go in and look at that too, like we thought about all the edge cases for you guys. So it's 3:33, and you get a friendly reminder that you need to close all your trades by the closing bell. So we've covered all angles for you guys. All right, now you can do replay trading. So basically, when you come into the live trading mode, these are Yun asked the question, does it find trades for you? Here are the trades right here. Like there they are. Those are the ones that are blinking green are the ones that are triggered. So I know we think about politics when we say triggered nowadays, but these are the setups that are triggered, meaning they are basically in the prime area that we need them to be to line up with where they ended up being as profitable trades according to the back tests, if that makes sense. Can you create your own systems? No, actually you can't. Good question. You could now what you can do, Chris, is you can take a manual trade. So let's say you're looking at your chart or my basic little chart that I have in here. Again, I don't claim this is some kind of whiz bang charting platform. It's a really basic chart. But so what you could do, Chris, is you could place a manual chain. So a manual trade. So you have the quick chain right here. So let's say, I think the SPY is here in the next 25 minutes is going to make a big move up. So what I could do is I could just buy the 756 calls. So I'll just click on that on the chain. It's going to pop up the trade window. Let's say I want to make, I think the trade will go 25%. I'll do that many contracts. Um, no stop loss because it's 335. And then I just click submit trade. So that's how you could do it. Now also, if you're just dead set on not using Tradier, but you want to use the platform more than 14 days, you can just copy the trade ticket. So I just go right here, copy trade ticket, all right? And then you have the instructions for that trade where you can, paste that onto a notepad or something and you can see it. Now, you do have to go into your brokerage, obviously, and place that trade manually, but it does give you the guidelines. It's going to tell you, um, you know, you have it set to 25%. It's 3 contracts. It's the 756 call option that expires today, so on and so forth. Okay, Lynn says, why do you use options rather than futures? Because zero DTE options are hot right now. That's why. And a lot of people like to trade zero DTEs. Not that I'm against I trade futures too. I thoroughly enjoy it actually. But yeah, there's also a lot of people that like zero DTE. So all right. I back tested thousands of setups with AI. What did the data show you that completely surprised you? That's a good question. Um, we'll go back to my save setups over here. Okay, so let me scroll down. So some when the market closed, they'll stop blinking green, by the way. And sometimes you'll log in, there won't be any setups that are triggered, by the way, guys. Majority of the trades that trigger, the trade setups that trigger are going to be in the first hour and a half to 2 hours after the opening bell, just so you guys know also. So just some of the stats surprised me, Sebastian, based on the strategy type. Like, for example, what surprised me, and I already mentioned this, was the orb strategy, finding a lot of setups that are profitable that go against what the orb strategy teaches people to do, which is trade the breakout of the orb. So it was saying, hey, let's actually fade it. It's breaking out up, but the data says to actually go short and buy puts. So that was probably what surprised me the most. Richard says, are any positions held overnight? That would be no, they're not because those zero DTE options that can't be held overnight. They would literally expire. They literally expire at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Okay, manually approving each trade. Okay, so yeah, that's a good question. So in the interest of speed, I get it. Some people don't want to have to, confirm a trade. So that's why we have confirm. Also, there's alerts. So if you guys want an audio alert, you guys hear that? I don't know if you can or not. Sounds like a video game, like Frogger or something. But if you guys want those audio alerts on when a new setup gets triggered, you can have them on. If you get tired of them, you can just turn them off like that. And then as far as the trades go, let's see if I can find it. There's a confirm button right here. So where it kind of warns you. Remember, I showed you the slide that says, "Hey, you're using half your account there, bud. You sure you want to place that trade?" So basically, or if you just want the trade to go straight through without confirming anything, you just toggle the confirm on, and then you won't have to deal with that, and then it'll go straight through. But obviously, you have to understand it doesn't give you any margin for error either in case you click something inadvertently. So that's up to you to toggle that on or not. Hopefully that answered your question. But you don't need to go generate the backtest for the setups. I just showed you guys that that was the first iteration of this tool. And then I realized that people didn't want to do that. Um, they didn't want to take the time to do that. So I was like, okay, fine. So we'll just do AI power mode and it does the backtesting for you. Okay. All right. Yeah, so that's it's 340. So yeah, guys, grab a free trial. Now, I'm gonna actually do something a little unorthodox here, and I'm gonna show you guys my other site, Trade the Grade. Okay, so this is Trade the Grade. So this is a platform that we built that basically gives you an edge with analyst upgrades and downgrades. So basically, you come in here every morning, and you can find some really nice market moving analyst upgrades and downgrades. And the the real value here is it's going to show you the ones that are likely good candidates to base a trade off of. Because, like if we go down here, I can tell you how many 226 total analyst upgrades, downgrades, or price target changes or reiterations today. Who raise your hand if you want to sift through 226 analyst actions every day? If you raise your hand, I don't think you're telling the truth. So it's a way that there's a system that's predefined that sorts them, and then there's also an AI component that I'll tell you about in a minute. So basically, guys, when you log in here every day, you've got two important panels right here, three actually. But when you log in, you're going to want to see the stocks that have the biggest price target changes. So this QMCO, never heard of it, had a huge price target range today from 8 to 20 per share, and there's still 28% of upside to the target. You see that? Okay, so and then if I hover over, I've never heard of the company. So if I hover over there, it's going to tell me, okay, this is semiconductor computer storage devices, probably something like a semiconductor. Anyways, so huge price target raise. You can see the stock over the last 30 days here on this rudimentary chart has gone up a lot. But that's definitely on my radar now because I never heard of that stock before. So it'll bring those sort of little gems to your radar, but also some, some obviously more well-known stocks like Micron. Everybody knows about Micron now, from the move it's made this year. But Micron is actually, I have to say, I sent out a report on the first week of January, and of the stocks that were the most highly rated to be bullish this year, and Micron was on the top of the list. So when people say analysts don't know what they're talking about, they don't know what they're talking about because as a whole, analysts are actually really good at what they do. So, you know, I know that that's not popular to say on webinars like this because we all like to hate Wall Street, but they they actually do know what they're doing, by and large. So, anyways, this is a really good way to sift through all the information and find things that are actionable. At the end of the day, you want things that are actionable, right? Now, if you sort, excuse me, you can find the biggest price target moves that were bearish. So this CRDF, whatever this company's up to, I don't know, but okay, so it's biotech. So a lot of times when you see these huge price target changes and reductions, raises and reductions, they're in biotech. So be it as if be that as it may, if you want to ignore those, you can. You can do that by simply selecting the sectors you want to trade. So if you just want to know energy stocks that had notable analyst upgrades and downgrades today, you just click on the energy tab right there. All right, not very many, but it sure does dwindle it down from 226, doesn't it? If you just want to do technology, right? Or if you want to do a combination, you want to do technology and energy. Well, there you go. There you've got your stocks that have analyst actions today based on those two sectors. Another thing you can do, guys, is the setup grade. So based on each and every one of these analyst actions, you have a setup grade. So it has a little bit of a back test to it that you can go and hover over and get more information on each of these. So this is a bearish A plus setup. So that means you would want to be bearish on this as a trader or consider that, because the stock was downgraded from buy to neutral, down 2 levels. There's 5 levels on an analyst rating scale. Okay. Now let's move quickly here because I don't have much time left. So the next the next section is probably my favorite, arguably. I don't know. I love it all, but obviously I'm biased. So this is the backtesting engine we call the analyst hot sheet. So again, I have them ranked by setup grade. So if I just want to look over the last 7 days, a lot A and A plus setups that were issued and see which stocks moved the most in accordance with the sentiment of those analyst actions, this is going to tell me which ones to look at. All right. So this one, OKTA, this is a software semiconductor play of sorts. Also, you can see the analyst action here was the price target was raised from 80 to 110. All right. And it was done by this analyst right here, Shyam Patel from Susquehanna. And then what you want to do is if you want more information, if you want we have an AI Anna feature I'm going to show you about here in a second. So let's add this to the queue. All right. So I want AI Anna to tell me, hey, give me more context on this. Obviously, a price ranges is raise is neat, but I want to know more context. Okay. So same thing up here for the bearish ones. So you had a price target cut and the stock has fallen pretty nicely since then. So I'll add that. Okay. And this used to be Sprint. I don't know. This used to be the Sprint ticker S, not Sentinel One. Times change, huh? All right. So we'll go back to analyst actions. Let's add a few of these too. So, because if you're just casually using this, like, hey, I don't know what ACHC is. I know it got a double upgrade. It moved up from a three to a three to a five. That's great. But I don't know anything about that company. So I want AI to tell me, give me context. And then maybe for one of these bearish ones on ConAgra. Okay. All right, so now I've got 4 analyst actions queued up in the AI context. So if I want it to give me context, I just click that button. It's going to take about 5 or 6 seconds to generate the data that we're looking for. And then we're going to go check it out. So give me just 1 second here for this to generate. Click on View Report. It's going to take me to the third tab over here, which is AI Anna. Okay. So then I'm going to click this, and boom, it gave me a nice, concise context report for all these analyst actions that I just selected. All right. Sentinel-1, HCHC, ACHC, which is Arcadia Healthcare, ConAgra, OCS, and then OKTA. Now, it's also going to tell me which ones it thinks is the most bullish, and the other one is uh, it usually tells you which one is most bearish. So I didn't select that many of those, so maybe oh no, I did right here. ConAgra. Yeah, ConAgra is the most bearish one. So it's a downgrade to underperform. So it gives you context for the upgrades, the downgrades, and the price target changes. Okay. So like with OKTA, it tells you during the 2023 to 2025 inflation cycle, ConAgra raised prices successfully, but volume never recovered. So if you would not have selected that, you would have had to go and read news articles and go on Twitter and try to avoid all the spam on Twitter and stuff like that to try to find actually actionable info that's meaningful, that's not finance bros posting BS online. But not anymore because you can get that right here, okay? And of course, the thing that people usually, the first thing they do when they sign up for Trade the Grade is they want to just get the dang stock picks. So they'll come in here and just have AI do everything for them. So let's say I'm going to surmise that there'll be an Iran peace deal by the end of the week. Probably won't, but anyway, so I'm going to get bullish. So I'm going to click Generate AI and Recommendations. I clicked on bullish only, swing trade, and do 3 ideas. It'll take a few seconds to do so. And while it's doing that, let's look at some previous ideas that it generated. These go back a little while, a few weeks, even a couple months. But you guys can see that since these recommendations were generated, it has done really well. Okay, so now here's the fresh ones that it just generated for us. So IBM, LEGN, and Hive. So let's go ahead and click on the details, and it's going to give you the trade setup. Obviously, I don't know if anyone actually follows these to a T, but it does at least give you an idea of risk reward, a possible stop loss, and a target. It gives you a confidence score and then also the rationale for the trade. All right. Because here's the rationale. Citigroup analysts substantially raised the price target by 31% alongside a buy rating. So, and it gives you some more of the rationale from a business standpoint why you want to be long the stock. So boom, there you go. It gives you a trade that's based on a recent analyst action. If you don't want to do any of that stuff that I just did on the first page, on the analyst action page, and then also on the hot sheet page, if you just want the AI to tell you what stock it likes, it'll do that for you. All right. So really, it's it's good for people that like doing their like kind of like delving into and exploring the information, but also people that just want to use AI to sort of weed it all out. Yeah, yeah, I did. I did design it all. Yeah. Thanks, Sebastian. Okay, Richard, how much data is used for back testing? Is it daily or 1 minute? Oh, no, 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 no. So on Trade the Grade, I'm assuming you're asking about Trade the Grade. So the back test is based on daily, open to close. It's not real granular like it is for the 0DTE terminal is very granular. Now, if you guys want to grab, I think the trial for Trade the Grade is a little shorter, but I do have a trial link for that. And then if you guys want to upgrade to both of them, if you want to go premium on Trade the Grade, um, here's the page right here. Trade the Grade, free sign up. All right. So if you guys end up wanting to go premium on both, I will do a package deal for you. So they're both $9.97 for a year. If you want to do this page says 1497, but um, if you want to do either one, either 0DTE terminal or trade the grade for a year, it's 997. If you want to do a package deal for both of them, let me know. I'll give you a great deal. All right. So, and you guys can come over here and watch this video, this short video that I made that kind of rehashes everything I just shared with you. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to see people using tools that came from, and honestly, I've been wanting to build trade the grade now for, I mean, not 10 years, but probably 5 to 7 years. I've had this idea. I just didn't have a way to build it. So now you can build stuff like this in 2026. So yeah, and the data is fresh every day. So and again, we do have a Discord available. So let's just kind of take a quick look at the 0DTE terminal slides. I know my time's basically up, but again, 997 for a year. Trade the grade also is 997 for a year. And I do actually have some slides for trade the grade too. Let me see. I got 2 minutes. All right, so here's the slides for trade the grade. I'll just go through them really quick. So you've got 5 tiers on the analyst rating scale, five, T1 all the way to T5. Right there, you guys see some strong buy all the way to strong sell. And a double upgrade is where it gets moved 2 ratings at once instead of just one rating level change. Okay. So we like to focus on double upgrades, double downgrades, explosive moves often result as a result of those, or large price target changes. Okay. And here's some examples. Um, the setup grade, I talked about that briefly. Um, your feed, AI Anna, okay, scan, filter, analyze, and deliver. Context generator, we talked about that. And here's some results I've had. So either do the work all yourself or let AI Anna do it for you in the platform. You can get your everything set up in the morning pre-market. I like to take a look usually about 9:15 about any really big market moving analyst actions, and that way I can formulate a trade for the day. I do have a trading view indicator too that will you can plug and play some of the data from Trade the Grade into that if you want to use it. Just let me know. If you sign up for a premium membership, I'll grant you access to the script. And that is 997 also for a year. So one of 100 spots for that is open as well. But I do have a 7-day trial for that too. So the trial for Trade the Grade is a little shorter because it's easier to figure out because it's not day trading like 0DTE is. But anyways, if you end up wanting to upgrade to one or both, obviously 997 is a great deal. Hopefully you guys agree with that. And if you want to do a package deal for both, you can reach me. Just reply to any of the emails I'll be sending to you after you sign up for a trial.